Okay, hi guys, this is Frankie here. So today we're going to talk about context of use in the realms of design. Context, I'll leave the definition for later, but let me ask something. Have you ever gone to an ATM and really not had any issues using the ATM apart from the ATM itself not working, but you walk to the ATM and you know exactly what to do to either get your money out or put money back in or check your balance, all of those things. The ATM was designed to help you do exactly that. And that is what context of use is. It's essentially, I'll leave the explanation for later. So I have in front of me on my screen here some images, and I want us to analyze them. 3 images. The first one is someone in the office, very relaxed. The next one is a lady feeling very comfortable on her couch. And then the last one is a lady, again, feeling very comfortable. I'm pretty sure she's by the poolside. So I want us to look at these 3 images, right? And just look at the commonality running through all of them. The first one is, again, a man in a seat feeling very comfortable. Second one is a lady very comfortable in the couch. The third is also somebody relaxing, hopefully by the poolside. So all these 3 images have one thing in common, and they're chairs. Simple, normal chairs. And they are all being used for different reasons. And you can see just by how they are designed, they are being used to solve different problems. So the guy is in the office, right? And there's a chair, a swivel chair suited for that purpose, work in the office, getting you seated very comfortably to attack whatever work that comes your way. The second one is the woman very comfortable in a couch, right? Like, it shows exactly where she is. She's at home. She's probably relaxing, watching a movie on her tablet, I think. And the last one is another lady relaxing. Again, can you really relax on a swivel chair? No, you can't relax the way she's relaxing at home, because the chair was specifically made to be used at the poolside, at the beach. I don't know the name of the chair, so yeah, what I'm trying to say is these chairs, they all do the same thing. You sit on them to get something done. But then where they are being used and how they're even seated on it tells you that they were suited to solve a particular problem. And that is what context of use is all about today. So, definition in my very simple terms, right? Context of use, this describes the environment and conditions under which a product or design will be used. I don't know how basic this can get, but it's essentially you are using a product, you are using something digital or physical. It's helping you solve a problem, but then that problem only exists within the context of they're using the solution within the context of the problem, and that is basically what context of use is. So I have here every product, tangible or intangible, is used in a particular situation or environment to solve a problem that only exists in that situation or environment. You can't decide to use an ATM in your hall because that problem of you wanting to withdraw money is not in your hall. You need to go to the ATM, wherever it is located, to go and get your money out, right? You can't worship in the office because you need to go do that in a church. That is where you go to solve that need of you wanting to worship in a place. I hope nobody takes this out of context. But yeah, I'm just trying to say, if you have a problem here, you go and solve that problem there. There's no way you solve a problem that exists here over there. You don't get that satisfaction it gives you over there. So I have a very simple story to tell right over here. When I started out, I did a design for someone. It was to design something to be used by vendors out in the sun, right? To take street vendors. So they take your order, they work on it. They just need someone to record all of those things they are selling. So by then I wasn't very keen on UX. It was more of UI. But then thinking back at the solution I did, I think I took certain steps to include context of use without even knowing it, to include context of use in my design. What do I mean by that? I I imagine where the product to be used. It's used outside. This person probably has a long queue or even a short queue of people wanting to buy from him or her, right? So I made the input really huge, buttons really huge. The buttons had to stand out so that they know that they are clicking on this to maybe add to their cart or something. Those are some of the things I took, or some of the steps I took to make sure I was designing for the vendor outside. He wasn't in closed doors. He wasn't going to use his phone. He was going to use a tablet, right? He or she wasn't going to have time to read. So I didn't make the text, the font sizes really small. Everything had to be big and bold and had to stand out. That was like some of the measures I took to ensure that whatever thing he's doing, the product can solve that in that context. It wouldn't make sense to use something like that indoors. Maybe it would. But in that context, it wouldn't make sense to do something with small font sizes, with maybe button color that doesn't really stand out, But me thinking about the situation is like that particular point in time. What is going on there? What is his state of mind? What is the environment looking like? What is the outside sounding like? All of those things, I unconsciously had to think about that to come up with that design, even though I really didn't know I was applying context of use. That's the end of the story. So, big question is, how can you as a designer, right, build muscle for designing based on context of use? It's not a big thing. Context of use is not a huge deal. We do it, but we probably don't know we are doing context of use or applying context of use. But this is just to make us aware that for every problem we are designing for, the solution has to stay 100% in that within the context of the problem. That way you are able to solve it and solve it well so much that even if you take it outside of that context, it will probably most likely work well there too. So the best way, right, to solve with context of use at the back of your mind is to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you can't solve for a problem. If the people who designed the ATM machine didn't ask questions, I'm pretty sure your grandmom wouldn't be able to use the ATM. I'm pretty sure somebody who is disabled wouldn't be able to use the ATM. They took all of those factors. Who is going to use it? Where is it going to be used? What time? The people who are coming to use it, are they literate or illiterate? They used all of those things to design the ATM to make it as simple as it is. I'm pretty sure there are even way simpler ones, but they asked questions. They asked lots and lots of questions, relevant and irrelevant alike. So I'm going to show us 3 applications or products or solutions and then with a few questions that I think they asked, maybe not verbatim, but they asked around that in order to come up with the product at the end of the day. So the first one is CarPlay. I don't own a car, but I heard someone talking about it, and I had to get into a car, be the driver, connect my phone to see how CarPlay works. And it's a really beautiful thing, because driving is a delicate art. Especially in Ghana, you know what I mean. Driving is a delicate art. You really need to do everything possible to be sane and make sure at the end of the day you are safe or you get home safely. But CarPlay makes it enjoyable in the sense that, one, you have a map available to you to help you navigate through the city. You have music available to you. For those who like podcasts, CarPlay has those apps available. When you look at my picture here on the left, you see there's certain select applications, huge icons that help you to get yourself entertained, right? And even on the same screen, you see that at the far left, right, there are 3 icons: the map, music, and phone. I'm pretty sure they asked, right? They asked, okay, what are some of the most important things people do while driving? They listen to music. I don't know what car you're sitting that they don't play music unless the radio is not working. But music is one of the first things people do when they sit in their car, connect their phone and play music all the way. Second thing is maps. They need to know where they are going, right? So having map the map application, Google Map, Apple Map, available to help you navigate through the city. Very important. The last one is phone. You know you're not allowed to put the phone on your ear and make a call, so CarPlay makes that available. And if you pay attention carefully, you see that it is at the far left, and the far left is super close to the steering wheel, so it's very easy to reach out. So just stretch your hand a bit and you are hitting one of those 3 icons. So you can easily see that it was designed for the driver. It was designed for the driver to easily reach those icons. It was designed for the situation of a driver being in the car whilst driving and having access to all of these applications. So some of the questions I think they ask themselves is, what are the rules while driving, right? For instance, the phone. You can't use a phone on your ear whilst driving. So CarPlay has made it possible for you to have a phone call on that screen. Which apps obey these rules? Okay, from those rules, which apps can we make available on CarPlay for the rider to use, right? What is the driver doing whilst driving? Most likely answering the call, figuring out where they are going. That's why those 3 apps are there. What apps fall in line with what they are doing? Google Maps, of course. So they've just asked themselves what is going on within the context of driving, the driver and driving, and making an application with apps available to the driver in that situation. That is what we call context of use. Figuring out the situation, figuring out all the things that are happening in that situation, and then coming up with a solution for that. The second one is the ATM. I've mentioned the ATM twice already, so I'm just going to go into some of the questions they probably asked themselves, right? What kinds of people can use the ATM? What actions can they perform? What times should they be used? Where can ATMs typically be used? So depending on where an ATM is, you can find ATMs at the mall. You can find ATMs in story buildings. They are all outdoor, right? They didn't make, the screen is not dim, right? It has to be bright because most likely it will be used during the day. They have like really huge buttons. It's just so everyone can have like real estate to punch or tap on whatever thing they want to do. That is like the whole point of ATM, making it very accessible. So they ask accessible, directed questions, if you figure what I mean. And then the last one is a point of sale system. You know what they are. You go to a mart, you go to a supermarket, and then you are checking out and they are busy punching your stuff in, trying to get you how much you're supposed to pay. All of these things, right? It's a solution. Some of the questions they can ask is, where are these going to be used? Of course, the mart, right? What does a typical day look like? Maybe they are very, very busy. So we can't do something with a very tiny button, or we can't do something with font sizes so small. That would mean they need extra time to really be sure of what they are tapping on so they don't make a mistake, right? But if these things are really big, bold, it helps them move very fast, because if there's a queue, you don't want the attendant trying to now figure, okay, where is 1, where is 2, making sure they are tapping the right thing. You're also in a hurry, right? So all of these things are considered in designing the application. Who will use these? You never know who gets to use a point of sale. It will be somebody who has probably not gone so far to school, or somebody who is very learned, right? You have to find a balance between these two people and design something that any of them can use without so much learning effort, right? What is the typical situation in which this will be used? You need to figure that out, because that will definitely inform the look and feel of it. That essentially contributes to coming up with a good solution at the end of the day. So the power of context of use is usually underestimated, right? But we need to understand that when you know or when you ignore context of use, it has the power to derail the success of any given product, be it tangible or intangible. Because assume the ATM was all of those questions, they didn't ask them, so they just went straight into design. They designed the ATM, it comes out and nobody can use it. They've wasted time, they've wasted money, they've wasted resources to do this huge physical thing and no one is using it. It's failed. So if they had asked themselves those questions, that is what makes ATMs successful, right? The CarPlay, if they had done it for somebody who uses a motorbike, it would have failed because they failed to acknowledge where it will be used in the first place, right? Same for the POS. If they've failed to ask themselves where the thing will be used or who will use it, it will fail. So context of use plays a very huge role in the success of any given product. You need to ask yourself so many questions about where the product will be used, who will use it, and anything relevant to it. No question is silly. So when you're designing something, just always ask questions. You can always start with who will use it. That is like the most basic of solutions when it comes to basic of questions you can ask when you are solving anything. Who will use it? From there, any other question is super easy to come from. So yes, that is the end of my presentation on context of use. Thank you.